didn't look back. I cashed in my 401k. I realigned my vision of what success was. In other words, you know, the white picket fence, 2.5 kids, and the 401k, and having to be working for someone else. I felt the pull that caused me to jump ship. There was no official plan. Oh, you know what? Let me back up. There was no official plan on paper as the 3D version, right? So I jumped ship. I quit. But I have been looking at another career. And when I moved physically from one location to another, before I left, I was pulling out of my boxes, and I saw research I had done on a particular career that felt more to my heart. And I ended up being in that career from 2004 till 8 years ago. Yeah. And then 8 years ago, I moved into what I do on 9 to 5 now, but also fully do what I do as a healer, as a spiritual guide. Essence, what was one of the experiences that you had in crossing over from the 3D into what you do now?
It's been some years ago when I came upon this research about indigo children, which ended up being indigo adults, okay? And when I dived into that, I realized from that, oh, this explains me. This explains, and this is way before I got into the knowledge of frequencies and vibrations and energy work. This was long before that. But when I came upon that, and I began to dive into that and really study that, and the conclusion of that, it helped me to explain myself that, oh, this is what this is. This is I just can't help it. I can't help being this and that, and then doing this and doing that. And that is okay. So, and there's nothing wrong with me. I was self-discovering myself at that time and didn't realize it. And like I said, this was a long while back. But to answer the question, it's my transition was just a transition of me in my awareness. I came here for this. I signed up for this. I was made like this. I was created like this, because doing these multitasking creations and being a creative being, it was I just added and kept on trug-a-lugging on down the track with my strong sense of purpose with the things that I was doing. So it put a face to these things. So I can't really pinpoint the transition. It's just that when my awareness came that, oh, this is what this is, it was oh, okay, let's just keep it moving. Just keep it moving. And so the energy outside of me that wanted to put me in boxes, and even as I speak right now, it's okay, that's cool, because people vibrate at different frequencies, and we do. And the more you are aware of yourself, you vibrate at other frequencies. You know.
When I'm not creating or expressing in some sort of way, I literally feel depression. And this is how I see it. The divine revealed to me that when we are not expressing, the opposite is depression. What do you say about that, Mom? That is powerful. And it's giving everyone the permission to do you in your expression and enjoy it. If you're working on a project, you're not feeling it anymore, it's okay. Put it down so that you can explore life and bring some more to that project at a later time. It's perfectly fine. Be free in your creative spirit and live lively. And all that comes through you. One little thing here. It says, doing what you love isn't a privilege. It's an obligation. Isn't it selfish? Isn't it selfish to do what you love? You might think that it's okay to have a hobby, but if you are a multi-passionate creator, you want more than that. You want to play an instrument, go to meditation classes, take a holiday and another one in another country, learn a tap dance and more. Is it allowed? Well, if you do these things in place of having a job, if you've burdened someone else with taking care of you, that's the part. If you do these things and you burden other people to take care of you, now, look, the answer is no.
You say crossing over, what are we talking about?
Okay, so you recognize yourself as a multi-creative. So, okay, some of us still have 9 to 5s, but you really would rather be fully doing, maybe part-time you're doing what you love to do, but what helped you cross over to work in it more instead of as a hobby to really work with it, right?
Accountability.
All right.
First and foremost, the accountability that and the responsibility that I have, towards myself. My purpose is just to experience and be fully accepting of self. I don't see anything outside of that as being my purpose. Everything else is extra. I'm not here to experience all this drama. I'm here to experience the fullness of myself and the joy that comes with it. And everything else outside of that is just to add on cherries, icings to the cake. So even in the working world, I have no problems going back into it. I recently went back into childcare, and that's something that I enjoy because that matches the frequency in which I really vibrate and thrive in. So for me, it's not about where you are physically or what you're interacting with outside of yourself. You know what I'm saying? It all starts from within. And that's where I operate from. So even if it's a 9 to 5 or something like that, I'll take it on as long as it's in alignment with where I'm going and what I'm doing at the present time. You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely, yes. That was great to hear that. In my 9 to 5, which, I'm self-employed, but still, I run a salon solo. But the environment, I'm able to be completely myself. I would say 99% of my clients, I could have this kind of conversation with. So I relate to what you're saying on that. Is there anyone else? Melissa? You want to share?
I was just thinking about my transitions. Let's see. I was pushed to do something more creative or something more in line, because when I was working 9 to 5, I experienced layoffs. I was fired. I quit. And so I had to sit down and just think, why is this happening? When in the beginning, when you were talking about, being multi-creative and how people would say you're doing too much. When we're working these 9 to 5 jobs, they don't tell us then that we're doing too much, because look at all the different things that you're doing. Most of the time, unless you're really in the career you're supposed to be in, you really don't enjoy what you're doing, but you're just doing it. So I had gotten to the point where I was pushed because the universe was actually telling me, you're living a life and doing things that aren't in alignment with who you truly are. Now, when I was doing 9 to 5 jobs, I was doing part-time jobs, doing creative jobs, hobbies and things like that. So when I was pushed out to live in alignment, I started focusing on the things that brought me joy. Sewing, doing hair, makeup, just different things that were creative. And so that's kind of what came to my mind as I was listening to everyone. And I just thought I would share that. So I'm really enjoying this conversation. So thank you, and I'm complete.